you better. Cause you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, what should have it? Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Yeah, you better. Take the time to recognize it. You won't leave me even if you try it. You're the artist, I'm the mess, and happily be found by you in your hands.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, people? I am on here today. Yes, I am. We are on Facebook, Instagram. Oh, no, wait. TikTok. Let me go live on TikTok right now. And then X and YouTube. Instagram's going to be later. And today, guys, I have my sister, who I love very much, Maria. Thank you so much for being here. Girl, it's been such a long time since we've been online together. You're muted. Hold on, let me unmute you. Unmute your mic.
Muted. Hi, everybody. I'm unmuted now.
Yes, I'm so grateful you're here with me today, guys. Guys, we are talking about how to eat for health. We are talking about sugar spikes and why they are secretly aging you, and many other things too, Maria. Let's dive into it. And you know, a lot of people don't know this, but the average amount of sugar consumed by one human being in America is 150 pounds a year. So that is like you're eating your weight in sugar a year. That's
Absolutely
excessive.
And that's just on average.
Yeah.
There are people who exceed that by quite a bit, actually.
Yes. And then let's not even talk about starch and the breads and that basically just turns into sugar in your system anyways. It's like eating candy bar.
Absolutely. So let's break down sugar. So I know there's going to be some people who are like, but sugar, not all sugar's bad. And this is very true, right? So you have your natural sugars from fruit. You do have sugars that break down from carbohydrates, and the brain actually does need a certain amount of sugar. Mm-hmm. And so that equation of how much sugar you tend to need a day is between 20 to 30 grams. I think right now FDA is saying 50, but honestly, to minimize rapid aging, 20 to 30 grams is pretty much where you want to keep it in added sugars or junk sugar.
Let's pause you right there. You said rapid aging. So this is the thing, guys. Sugar spikes age you because it causes glycation, and glycation causes you to get wrinkles, stiff arteries, brain fog. It's literally like toasting you from the inside.
100%.
Girl, did you know? I mean, you probably do. So chronically elevated levels of glucose age you on a cellular level 30% faster.
That's absolutely true. And for most people who don't know, the word age is actually an acronym. We've since removed the dots. I think they did that back in the 1950s, but it stands for advanced glycation end products. Yes. And that is the process that is stiffening, like the collagen, which creates the decrease of it and makes the skin wrinkly and all of that good stuff. So glucose is directly correlated to the aging process.
Yes,
and
excess.
Fast acting.
Yeah. And I really feel like, they're pushing this stuff onto us. I mean, it's so many, when you think back about it, think about all the little fads that they pushed on us that they said these diets are really good, but then they end up being really horrible for you. It's like nobody even knows what to eat anymore.
Yes. And so I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I mean, we all know that nutrition is, the big bulk of my education. Mm-hmm. And so from what I've seen over all of the years of studies and going all the way back to like the 1930s and the 40s, all the way up till now, we had an agricultural shift, and we also had a medication and pharmacology shift. I think what they figured out is more financially advantageous to make us sick. And because we do not have education, nor do they, this is the one topic that they don't give education on in school from young to old. And it's very brief. They try to do the pyramid, but that really is when they saw, oh my gosh, obesity is now getting out of control. Yeah. However, that being said, food is the most important thing. We all have to eat. It has to happen. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we've been taken advantage of, and the masses don't even realize that they are the product on both ends, the consumer and purchaser of the food, and on the pharmacology side.
Exactly, exactly. And okay, yes. So they found out that, by the food that they feed us, yes, they're making way more money. We're eating more, we're
Yes.
snacking all day, which we'll
All the
talk about in
snacks.
a second. And really, I mean, think about all of the fillers, all of the everything that they're pouring into all of this food to make it last longer. Let me ask you a question. This is wild. When's the last time have you seen your bread? Like if you just bought a regular loaf of like the Sara Lee bread from the grocery store, when's the last time that y'all seen it mold?
So I no longer purchase bread
Good.
because of that. Because when I lived in Europe, where you get bread, if you don't eat that by day 3, that thing is done. It's finished. It's so moldy. You're starting your own penicillin factory at that point. After 3 days. And so after living there for so many years, it really opened my eyes up to, wow, our stuff does not spoil. It's ridiculous. I used to do Dave's Killer Bread for quite some time.
I do that. Is that bad?
It's okay. It's actually it's the better of the breads, right?
Yes,
It's the better.
yes.
It will actually mold. It does happen to take 9
But
days.
here's the things. No, look, I have a loaf and it's been out for 2 weeks. I'm experimenting.
Yes,
I don't see no mold.
For my home, I mean, where I'm at, a little warm. I know where you're at, it's warm too, but on the 9th, 10th day, it starts to mold, which is quite faster than other breads because I've purchased other breads to see, and I can have weeks and weeks of Sara Lee in the house. That could last. That's for war times.
Because they're putting a chemical in it that they put in yoga mats. I saw this
to make it
not yoga mats.
Well, so also in most of our foods, you're allowed certain types of fillers, i.e. cardboard shreds. I know people think that sounds woohoo, but that really does happen. Meat glue, things of that nature. There are lots of things in foods to just make them last longer and stay whole longer. Like hence McDonald's burgers not rotting for decades. They never rot, actually. So not even the bun.
Well, you know what I do now? So I go to a farm and get my chicken and my eggs from this farm, this local, and they make this sourdough bread that I'll get, a loaf of like once a week.
Yes. Get a fresh sourdough if you can. If not, you have to get a store-bought. It's still very minimal ingredients. Sourdough bread is really a great bread to purchase.
Yes, because it's fermented and it's actually not like, it's not like white bread, which is just starch basically turning into bad sugars in your body.
Right. And like from a fitness perspective, you're going to have people that are going to say, like in bodybuilding land, I don't know where they're talking about sugars, carbohydrates are fine. I'm not saying that carbohydrates are the devil by any stretch of the means. I eat on average between 500 and 600 grams of carbohydrates per day. That being said, I am extremely active and I am burning through those carbohydrates. So they're not affecting my body like that. And I'm making sure that I'm getting those from single sources, i.e. rice or and I do like black rice, red rice. I don't do white rice very often. I'll do sweet potato, things of that nature. But when you start getting into ultra processed foods, though, that's where you're getting the damage. The ultra processed foods is where the damage is happening. And so you need to be very careful to avoid those. So we're not talking about your single items, i.e. your potatoes, your rices, things of that nature, but your
darker starches, right? Darker starches are better, like purple sweet potatoes, even sweet potatoes or purple potatoes. You put me on those.
Yes. I like those are very good because they carry a certain level of antioxidants, which is also great if you are a person that's been in the past consuming high amounts of glucose. You want to have high antioxidants going into the body to clean up the free radicals and things of that nature. So that's why I like darker colored rice, potatoes, etc. And
so I've been hearing though that brown rice. So you know how the big brown rice craze, there's heavy metals in there. There's glyphosate in there. It's really actually more toxic than white rice is.
So what started happening with brown rice? It's kind of like eggs. So eggs in other countries are not refrigerated, right? And here in the US, we take the egg, we rinse off the good stuff that keeps it fine, right? And then we have to pasteurize it and refrigerate it because we've messed with it. Same thing with brown rice. Very rare is brown rice just put in the bag. They're always doing some type of process to it, whether it's a chemical added that they inadvertently don't put on the bag, because sometimes if they stay below a certain ratio, FDA doesn't make them have to put it on there. But also then we need to take it a step further, where the rice is being harvested and what they're doing at the rice farms to their soil and their ground, et cetera, et cetera. That's where a lot of bad things are happening to brown rice. Brown rice today and brown rice 20 years ago is not the same brown rice.
Yeah.
So you're getting more instances of people, arsenic. Yeah. So they're getting like, you can have people eat brown rice and they say, I'm bloated, I'm gassy.
Yeah.
Where it's rice, it should not be creating that type of GI distress.
No, nothing should be creating that type of GI distress. Actually, after you eat, if your food is actually good for you, normal, right? Without all the processed chemicals and anything that, you know, your body doesn't like, then you shouldn't feel any type of bloating. Your
body should be able to process it efficiently. Also now, unfortunately, so let's say you're trying to clean up your nutrition. And, you know, things that you're eating that are new to you are starting to mess with your gut a little bit. Well, that just tells me that you have a poor gut microbiome, right? Yes. And that probably needs to be weeded out and fixed, or normal healthy foods are going to give you some discomfort because of the high fiber content. You might not have enough good bacteria in the gut to help, you know, stir things up. So there are some instances, but for the most part, everyone should be able to consume whole foods and have them processed in the body extremely well, unless you just have an inherent allergy to it.
Yes, exactly. And okay, so I don't want to like get people down, because look, I love desserts. I was a whole pastry chef. Yes, I love them. But there's a way to eat that will actually blunt sugar spikes. And there's things and hacks that you can do to prevent the sugar spike and to actually help process the glucose in your system. So it's fiber, then protein, good fats, and then starches at the very end, and then your desserts after that. But you have to do all that within like a 2-hour period, or else you're missing the boat. Like you can't just eat that dinner and then 3 hours later eat your dessert and feel like it's going to blunt the spike. It's not.
Absolutely. It will not, because that food is already, it's the fat that's in the meal that you had earlier that's going to slow the process of everything down, along with the fiber. Yes. By the time you get 2-3 hours down the road and you say, okay, I want my ice cream cake or whatever the case may be, it's like a whole new eating process taking place at that point. Right?
Yes.
So that will definitely spike you. So I always try to think about, I love my desserts too, but I always try to figure out, okay, what is the best way that I can make this dessert, and what are my sugar alternatives, whether it's a natural sugar, monk fruit, or, you know, it's okay in baked goods. Some things make baked goods taste a little meh. You know, you're like, I really just want to get the sugar. Just give me the regular sugar and let's be done.
I love stevia. I love stevia.
Or stevia, right? So stevia, be careful. They're starting to mix stevia with, you know,
dextrose.
So you have to be careful and pay attention. But you know,
there are a specific kind of stevia that is just the plant
stevia. Exactly.
You guys, if it's dextrose, or what's the other ones that there's
sucralose, erythritol. Erythritol happens to be a natural sugar. However, it is very harsh on the GI tract. And so they used to use erythritol in like a lot of like protein bars to lower the carb count.
Yeah.
But it's not great for GI. It causes extreme GI distress.
See, why do they give us this stuff? It's like they're just
there is a whole faction of people that are trying to make products, because they already understand that people are not going to change very much. So there's a whole set of product producers that say, okay, how can we help them still get their sugar fix without giving them the sugar? And so there's that crowd. But I mean, let's just understand that everything that we try to recreate away from its natural process is going to cause something. Our bodies are not designed for chemicals. They're just not. We've made them adapt to this, but they are not designed for it, you know? No. So I think when it comes to food and decisions on what to eat, you have to make some very aware choices. You have to say, you know, okay, I know that I like to have sweet things. would I be better off having an organic dark chocolate couple squares versus the whole cake where I can get at least some health benefits and the sweet, right?
The whole cake.
Because you know me, that's me, the whole cake. I'm the whole cake
I
girl.
remember, listen, you guys, listen, this one time Maria came back to the house and she was like, I just sat in my car and ate entire bag of Cheesecake Factory bread. Like, remember the little
Oh
bowl?
yeah, oh my gosh, the whole bag. I was like, Lord have mercy, help me. I think I added 2 wrinkles that day.
I was like, dang. But you know
Yes.
what? I mean, sometimes look. Okay, well, I find balance is good. You know, balance,
Yes,
not to
yes.
eat like a
Absolutely. No, not a bag. Don't do a bag. That's not balance.
balance is good. And then there's also some hacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you mix a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar before your meals,
Yes.
it'll help you process and keep your metabolism up, and it won't, it'll blunt the sugar spike.
Absolutely.
That's a hack.
That's a hack. You can also do what I like to call the inexpensive GLP-1 is berberine. It is a highly effective supplement, natural on the market. It blunts sugar. It's great for diabetics. When I have a lot of my clients come to me that are diabetic or pre-diabetic, I work berberine into their nutritional protocol. They're off of medication. So berberine is enough. Super effective way. Or you can take also cinnamon is another effective way to blunt sugar.
Yes. I do a lot of cinnamon in my protein shakes because that's, it helps the metabolism, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
And then also walking for 10 to 15 minutes after you eat, it blunts the spike too.
This is my sneaky trick for my clients to get in an hour of cardio a day, especially if they work a desk job. I say, okay, well, how many breaks do you get at work? And they'll tell me. I said, okay, we're going to do 3 15-minute walks on those breaks. Instead of sitting around talking to your colleagues or in the break room where the donuts are sitting, you're going to go for a walk. You'll have your meal and you'll go walk it off, and you'll be surprised how much better. I have clients that lose great weight just doing that alone.
Yes. Walking is so good for you. You know what else is good? So I follow this woman. She's called the Glucose Goddess on Instagram. She's phenomenal. She just wrote a book. It's really great. But she was saying that if you have a desk job and you just ate, by doing calf raises for like 10 minutes, because our calves are like one of the biggest muscles in our bodies that absorb the most glucose. So if you're working your calves after you eat,
your calves are highly active is what it is, right? Because we're always on them. So they're highly active. So doing some calf raises. Another thing that you can do is some basic squats at your desk. Doesn't have to be pumped out. You can just slowly stand and sit for about 20 to 30 reps. And you'll be surprised how much sugar your body will absorb and burn off doing that.
Yeah.
So there's some definite ways to do it. I have some clients that love to do jumping jacks at their desk. I mean, if you're a guy, great. If you're a lady, hold your boobs.
Crazy.
Like some drama at the workplace. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's funny. You know what else is important though? Guys, like we have been programmed in especially America, but other countries too, that you wake up and you eat these beautiful breakfast pastries and croissants and pancakes and cereal and all of these sugar-filled things, and all that's doing is setting you up for a day that you're going to be craving more sugar, and your stuff is just going to be like this all day. It's going to be really hard for you to regulate once you start that first meal. Yes.
And this is why I'm so frustrated present day. Well, I would say in like the last 10 years with parents and children. We now have all seen and read enough on between social media and blogs and all that stuff. Giving kids cereal for school or anything sugary is just horrible. I mean, you're putting their brain in an elevated. They always say, I don't know why these kids won't settle down. They all came to school on sugar high.
Yeah.
All of them. And their brain is now trying to process information, but it can't, because the bloodstream does not like sugar in it. It wants to rid it as fast as possible. And it's so effective at doing that. It kind of slows other body processes down in order to shuttle it out of the bloodstream. So it's going to work on that first and foremost. So your brain, cognition is diminished.
Yes.
The kids can't think. They're staring there and they're looking all around the room. The teacher's pissed off, or sometimes she's in la la land too, because she just drank her Dunkin' Donuts mocha lotta chocolata. She's still
Right.
sipping on it at the desk, trying to teach the kids. So everyone is cracked out
Yeah.
early in the morning, literally, and with these high standards of high levels of expectation. And
Yes.
so I have looked at over the years studies of gifted children and
Mhm.
what their breakfasts at home look like, and none of them are starting off with anything sugary. They're all mostly starting. There was a handful, of course, that did have. They're just smart, but they were having, protein sources and, avocado and,
Yes.
you know,
Healthy fats.
healthy, yes, high end carbohydrate sources like oatmeal and, with blueberries and strawberries, or just fruit alone. So
Mhm.
their whole cognition level was increased by like 50% in compared to their counterparts who were starting off with cereal.
Yes, and then they're finding out, oh no, we just lost you. They're finding out that there's so many different dyes. There's so many, oh, we lost her. There's so many different dyes. There's so many different toxins inside of cereal. Where'd you go?
There
Um
they cut me
that
off.
I was talking about all the toxic stuff that they're putting in cereal that now I think in 2027 is the year that they have lobbied to try to
Get
get
it
rid of
out.
why are we waiting until 2027?
This is my
This is
point.
question.
Well, because this is exactly goes back to what I was talking about, conspiracy theory, and I hate to sound like this, but I really pay attention to what happens in the markets and money. So now that, RFK is doing the health things, and he's got some ish valid points. He's a little wackadoodle on some other things, but whatever. We take what we can get the dyes out of there. Everyone, and they gave them this large window to do this by, because everyone is trying to figure out now how they're going to recoup financial dollars. Because again, we are the product.
Yeah. Yes,
Right?
we
We're the
are.
consumer and the product. And
Yep.
so this is all about, unfortunately, financial dollars. If you
Mhm.
would think that if someone said, hey, this is killing everyone, not just some, but everyone, take it out, common sense should just say, take it out.
Yes.
But now
Mhm.
they have to figure out what they're going to shift to next. And that's the thing of giving a window. It gives scientists some time to play around with things, to make some shifts in products, to make them marketable to us all over again, versus just saying, you know what, we probably shouldn't be drinking Coca-Cola. I think that everyone who was alive before Coca-Cola was just fine. There was no Coca-Cola. It just didn't exist.
It's
No one
so
bought it.
freaking bad. Any type of soda. That's why it kills my soul. Whenever my son drinks a soda, I'm like, oh my God, it literally kills me inside.
One of the
Because if
worst
you
things anyone can
see
drink.
the bottle and then the amount of sugar that actually is in the soda, it's like up to here, isn't it?
Yes. It is more than, I think, 72%, 73% of the actual beverage is,
Literally liquid sugar. You're drinking liquid sugar.
and then the rest is chemical for color.
Yeah. Yes.
It's nightmarish. When I tell people more, the thing with soda is most people actually like the carbonation.
Yeah.
They don't
Drink
realize it.
carbonated water.
So I either tell my clients buy carbonated water or buy
Yeah.
a carbonation machine at home. Like in Europe, like we have a tabletop one. It's just a thing. Everyone buys a carbonator and you just make carbonated water at home, because that is the thing there. So I try to urge people to get lime or lemon, or even you can do, some natural sugar water flavorings, or strawberries, cucumbers, whatever, and carbonate your water and then soak it. Now you've got your own flavored water.
Look, I'm telling people, listen, I love Saratoga sparkling water because it is the
Me
fizziest.
too.
You get the carbonation fix,
Yeah.
okay? You can squirt a little stevia in there.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
squirt a little lime and lemon. Now you got spray. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
same thing. And you're
Yeah.
not getting the sugar spike. You're not getting the toxicity. You're not getting all of
Right.
that. I mean, it's a crazy amount. I just can't even believe it's legal. I can't believe, and people get addicted to it. They get addicted to.
And that's it. I don't think that people realize that we are walking addicts.
Mhm.
People always talk about alcoholics and drug addicts. We are the biggest addicts on the planet. I
Mhm.
mean, I have people who tell me, my clients will say, I just can't not eat X, Y, and Z. And I'm thinking to myself, I have to tell them,
Same
I
thing
say,
as drugs. It's the same thing.
yeah,
It does
the
the same
same
thing in your
in
brain,
your
in your
brain,
dopamine.
exactly.
It gives you that dopamine hit, just like snorting a line of cocaine gives you.
100%. Because I'll tell them, I said, so you mean to tell me that an inanimate object is calling you to it? And they'll look at me. And I'm like, I'll wait. Did the cake jump up and say, hey, come and eat me? Like, did it say that? Because I don't think it did. I'm just saying, you might have an addiction problem. You have an unhealthy relationship with food.
Yes.
And the problem is we've done it to ourselves as a society. We've taken food. It is supposed to be just a fuel source. And we have taken food and made it into a daily like dress up event. It is the clothing, so to speak, of our insides. Like, we have to have these things on, like we have on clothes, but we've turned it into a thing that's completely unhealthy, to the point now where actually getting healthy food, whole healthy food, is even being disrupted, because we can't even get a real chicken.
Girl, I was literally just ranting about this. It's like nothing that we have around us is good for us anymore. It's like the light is toxic, the air is toxic, the water is toxic, the food is toxic, the stuff we wear is toxic, the laundry detergent is toxic, the cleaning is toxic. I mean, how the F are we supposed to live out here in these streets? You know what I'm saying? Like, I swear to God.
I mean, you can't get too crazy about it, because you can literally obsess about it.
No, listen, I did for a minute. I went super out of balance. I was at the grocery store, like going to every little ingredient label. I was like, oh no, spending like 5 hours a day at the grocery. I'm like,
and you ain't got no groceries in the cart. You leaving out with just Saratoga water.
I'm like, dang, man, I swear to God, like it's too crazy, which is why, look, there's a balance with things. Don't go crazy and get all like wild about, what you're doing. There's a balance of toxicity in life. Okay. And it's just a matter of lowering your toxic burden as much as possible. But I do think that one of the most important things to do is switch out for free and clear, at least type of detergent, because if you have the fabric softener, that perfume on all day, your immune system is literally never getting a freaking break. You're always on 10. Always, because you're sniffing it all freaking day long. Like,
I agree 100%. I would say the laundry detergents, number one,
perfumes and cologne,
hair products.
Oh yeah,
Really careful with your hair products. That's literally going into the scalp, into the head. So hair and facial products, I think we all need to be a bit more careful with.
And then we have to realize that we mix stuff together too.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? So
we create chemical potions.
It's a chemical potion that we're rubbing on our faces and our bodies.
I got a Bath and Body Works lotion with Baccarat 45 on top of it. Like, wait a minute, I don't even think those go together.
No.
You're leaving the house though.
No, and it's terrible. It's terrible because we're creating the cancers in our body. You know, my kid just said to me, listen, we were just sitting on the couch watching MasterChef, and he looks at me because I just told him that Gordon Ramsay just had cancer. He got it removed. He's good. But I was like, oh my God, no, I love him. Yeah. But so I was like, he was like, everybody gets cancer. He's like, Mom, everybody gets cancer. I'm like, yeah. Why do you think that is?
It's so true. It's so sad though, because you're like, wait a minute, he's right. Absolutely.
No, he is, because of everything is freaking toxic. Yes. They just came out with an article that Europe or England banned gel nail polish because of the toxicity. There's like a certain chemical in gel nail polish that's not good for us. It's like really bad. And America's not banning nothing. Girl, nope. And I'm like, but I thought I was doing good by taking off my acrylics.
Okay, so I don't have acrylics. So I mean, my nails are naturally long. So I wish they would bring back silk wraps, because that's what I used to get to make my nails hard.
What is that?
These lay a layer of this. Look, I'm telling my age. Wait a minute, hold on.
What is that?
Everybody had that.
I don't know what that is.
Wait a minute now.
It's silk wraps, girl. That sounds old.
That's so jacked. I am not young, but I'm here though.
Girl, you look good. No, you look good.
So back in the day, For real, like back in the day, like close to the late 80s, 90s, they would take this little fine silk and they would lay it on top of your nail. And I forget what the coating was, but it was something that would just like wet it and it would harden on top of your nails. It was pretty natural. It was all only for women who had natural nails.
Oh, why don't they come out with that again? Where's that at? They can't monetize it, huh?
It was a process. That's why, because it was a longer process. It's easy to slap that gel on, slam you under the light, and move on. Right?
I heard the UV lights too are damaging the DNA in our hands.
You know what? I haven't read a lot about it, but I've heard some things, and I'm like, So
it's like, you know what? I can't go this way, that way, this way, this way. I can't do nothing without getting a toxic load on me.
We did it to ourselves.
Girl, yes, fluoride and toothpaste. I know. They just this year, I was like, oh, well, we'll take the fluoride out the water. Oh, really? Because it's a neurotoxin. Yeah. Really good toothpaste though is Biocidin. I love Biocidin because it has probiotics for your mouth. So it doesn't mess up your mouth biome. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Biocidin. Yes.
Okay. I'll check that out. I'm always looking for good new products.
Yes.
But for everyone else, I mean, let's not get too weirded out. And, it's easy to do.
I'm a little weird. I get a little weirded out, but that's why I say though, it's like you take the good with the bad,
Absolutely. Let me say this. Our bodies are extremely
resilient,
durable, and extremely efficient at ridding things up until a certain point, clearly, right? But this is why you have to do your best that you can with all of the things. So I would always tell someone, look, and then finances also play a role, right? Because if you don't have enough finances, buying a lot of these things to help yourself out can be uber expensive. And so then you already feel defeated and you're like, well, I'm not even going to try. So instead of having that mindset, let's, do this. Try to put more whole foods on your plate, your whole protein sources, your chicken, your fish or whatever. And when you're getting those sources, if you're going to spend money, try to make sure you're spending money in those areas first, right?
Yes, or even just find a local barn, like a local farm.
Yes,
the meat is usually cheaper. The eggs are usually cheaper, and it's local.
Yes.
Which you should eat local food. And yes, you should do a parasite cleanse every 6 months. You should definitely do a parasite cleanse every 6 months. I would say 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Because parasites. Ooh,
because there's a lot in our foods, unfortunately. I like to always tell people before you are so quick to jump to buy sneakers or a handbag or whatever, the extracurricular things are. What sense is it spending money on that and not spending money on taking care of your actual vessel? Mm-hmm. Like that makes absolutely no sense.
Spend all my money on taking care of my vessel in the right way.
100%.
That are adding, or like
I'm so into taking care of my body.
Exactly. And let's touch on fasting just quickly for a second, because that's really, fasting.
Effective.
Fasting is great for, it is great, but you need to. Let's just talk about women. Fasting is not good to do all month. It's not good.
No.
With our cycle. Fasting can mess up our hormones. For guys, they have a 24-hour cycle. So guys can do fasts really whenever they want to. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Women should not fast on their cycles at all.
No. Only the follicular phase. Only the follicular phase.
Exactly. That should never, ever be a thing. And I would not use fasting as a tool for weight loss, because what I've noticed is most women in particular will break that fast and eat junk food because they are.
Oh my God, and that's the worst thing. I mean, that's like the same thing as breaking your nightly fast and eating a breakfast full of sugar.
Exactly. So you've gone from one extreme to the next, and the body does not like that at all. At all. So I don't recommend fasting for those purposes. I mean, it's got its place. But also, I think some people do too much fasting, women in particular, and they're creating osteoporosis and osteopenia because they're not getting in enough overall nutrients and or protein, and it's really harming them in a major way.
Yes, and it can really mess up our hormones badly, and it can make our cycles way worse if we do it at the wrong time of the month. Absolutely. So it's you gotta fast for for, certain reasons. I just did an
Yeah.
interview with Jason Shirker yesterday, and he was
Mhm.
on a 21-day fast. He was on day 15. I
Right.
was like, whoa. I
Yeah.
mean, for a guy, I feel like, yes, maybe if you're getting your minerals, you know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
still have to ingest minerals, electrolytes, and things like that, or else you're going to be screwed up.
Guys' bodies are very, very resilient. They can take so much beating and keep functioning like nothing has ever happened. Their
Yeah.
bodies are just really built tough. That is the way God's design was, because they are the true hunter gatherers, right?
Yeah.
So their
Yeah.
bodies have to be strong enough to sustain long periods of time without eating, because that's how it started anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So, but for women in particular, um, I will say this, unless you are doing a spiritual fast, because I will never come in between anyone in spiritual fasting, I
Yes.
just don't recommend it
Yeah.
for women. I mean, again, I could see it as a weight loss tool, but I really even prefer not to implement those in weight loss because of people not being able to handle that feeding phase when they finally do get to eat. Women, our minds are already so whacked out. The hormones have made us whacked out. By the time we get to eat the food, you're ready to eat the cabinet. I'm like, you ate the cabinet, baby? That was not on the plan. So you have to be very, very strategic. If you can't handle the fasting, I would recommend not doing it. There's no quick fix. I would rather see you do something like, a spirulina and high antioxidant type cleanse where you're putting some food in, it's antioxidants, like you're maybe not staying away from protein and starchy carbohydrates, and you're just doing like a lot of berries and some herbs, and you can do that and make sure you're getting in electrolytes. That's something that can be done for about 4 days at best.
I mean, I think, okay, so my opinion with women and fasting, right? So I feel like during the follicular phase, if you want to do a 3-day fast, a 4-day fast, have some water, make sure you're getting your minerals. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? I think during that time, your body can more handle it. But
Yes.
outside of that, I mean, during your ovulation phase, maybe like a 16-hour here and there. But
Here
even
and
then, I
there.
don't know. I wouldn't, I don't know. It really does, mess with our
It
hormones.
does.
And I
It messes
think
with
like
the
it's,
hormones.
as long as you have your 12-hour fast, right? When you're sleeping
Yes.
from dinner until
That's more
breakfast,
than enough. It's more
it's
than enough
good. It's
already.
good.
I think people always see, we're designed to always look for the quick fix of the extreme, right? Like
Mhm.
that's how, unfortunately, we are just so wired. Where someone's fasting, oh, if I just don't eat, I'll just lose fat. And everything is always centered around weight loss.
Mm.
Everything we do. Still not remembering that we have normal body processes that take precedence over weight loss. And
Mhm.
so we're screwing ourselves in the long run and still creating. How many women are still trying to lose that same weight from 10 years ago? And they've
Mhm.
tried everything. You'd think that by now they'd say, okay, I need to just stop it and eat normally. But because they're so programmed, they just can't let go of what they think are quick fixes, which is just ruin their metabolisms, ruin their hormones, made them gain even more weight, and they're stuck in an even worse position than they were prior to.
Yeah.
So
Well, you know what? It just sucks because there's not very much science around women's bodies. There's
yeah,
not very much out there. So a
no.
lot of women think that they can do the same things that men can do.
And
And
yes,
really, it's very harmful. I mean, even cold plunging. You shouldn't do cold plunging at certain times of the month because it's going to mess your hormones up. It's going to create more cortisol in your
yes,
system. And you can't handle that at certain times of the month because your
absolutely.
cortisol is already going up and your other hormones are already going down.
Yes.
So,
And it takes understanding the hormone balance. That's why I'm doing my master class on
yes, yes.
perimenopause and menopause. I'm super excited about it on the 27th. Because
It's an
we are
online
not
course, right? It's an online course.
online course. Yeah. You guys will all get the link to sign up for it. But I want to educate women about their bodies and what's really happening, because there is really not very much, like you said, education out there. For instance, fun fact, I was talking to my friend and she just went through the IVF process. She's now pregnant. She's in the second trimester. She has a medical background. And we were talking about eggs and fertilization and everything. And she said, did you know that the fallopian tubes, the egg doesn't just go into the fallopian tube? And I was like, what are you talking about? Where's it going? The fallopian tubes actually reach out and grab the eggs. Those are like fingers on the end of the fallopian tubes. I had no idea. Did you know this? And the only reason why she knew this is because when you're going through the IVF process, they're showing the whole thing at a very intricate level to the mothers and fathers to be. So they get to really see how everything is working at a cellular level, looking through. I had no idea. I just assumed the egg flopped on in there on its own. I was like, wait, what? What you talking about? That is something so basic that I felt like we all should know because it's our bodies.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And I mean, I've studied medicine. She has a doctorate degree. So
they don't teach you. They don't teach you. I was just talking about this with Jason. They don't teach you nothing. I mean, they teach you what they want you to teach and know.
You to know. That is it. And so now, thankfully, with being exposed to mass information and women starting to wake up and say, hey, wait a minute, I don't have to live like this any longer.
Yeah.
That's where I want to step in and start saying, yes, ladies, let's, get this education. I have been living a very great midlife, going on right now for the last, 10 years because of the knowledge that I know. And I'm only realizing in these last 3 years that what I took for granted, I just assumed all women knew. Women do not know. I thought everyone knew that HRT, hormone replacement therapy, was not just something that people do to get fit. Like, it is a necessary thing if you still want to have your brain function when you're
these days. And well, always for women, and it was always just for guys, right?
Yes.
But always for women, as you go through menopause or perimenopause and then postmenopause, you need to replace your hormones or you're going to literally lose your mind.
Absolutely.
And because of the toxicity inside of, the environment that we're getting,
it's adding to the problem.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's messing our hormones up. We need to, look, hormones control everything.
Thank you. This end all be all of it.
Process, libido, like brain fog. I mean, just moods up, down. I mean, absolutely. All of it. If your hormones are not in balance, you are not going to be in balance. That's why at age, probably starting at about maybe 35, you should start getting hormone panels done, maybe even earlier at this phase.
I think earlier. I think because of food toxicity, and being, if a lot of women are overweight, I think you should start in your early 30s, seeing what's going on with everything, starting primarily with your estrogen, testosterone, and your thyroid. What's happening there?
Yes. And guys even younger, that guys are having lower testosterone
ages. Yes.
Earlier freaking ages. I'm talking like 20s.
Yeah, 20s. In their 20s. Absolutely. Yeah. It's really, it's becoming an epidemic. And it all goes back to what we were talking about, what we eat, right?
Yeah.
What we eat and how much copious amounts of sugar that we are just taking in that is just totally ruining our body.
Destroying us. It destroys us. It destroys our hormones. If our hormones are not functioning, nothing else. It's like a catalyst effect. It's like a domino. Once your hormones are jacked up,
that's
then
it.
Thyroid, I mean, everything else, adrenals, all the things are going to.
That is the computer house of our system, are the hormones.
Yes.
That's how we function and that's how we work. And so this whole thing about, I can remember hearing my mom say, that no one really ages old gracefully. And I remember challenging her and saying, I think that you can. And she goes, no, everyone gets old. And now that I'm in this position, that I'm thinking back and I'm like, wow, they just had no clue. They just didn't know. And women are just given this get old death sentence. By the time you're 50, you're supposed to be frumpy and wearing your house coat.
Can't remember anything. Just
fibromyalgia or whatever other
flat. Flat.
Right. And
once you feel flat, if any ladies on here, men too, if anybody on here feels flat, like they have no spark, like they have no emphasis to work, then you're probably low in testosterone.
Absolutely. And that is a lifesaver for both men and especially females. Ladies, you need testosterone. You have to have it. It is a necessity. You must have it. Really, there's some studies that are going on right now. I think they're in like year 3 of testing on women in particular. If they raise testosterone levels, will the incidences of depression and bipolar disorder decrease?
Duh.
I'm almost positive to say yes, because those are directly correlated. I mean, there's science showing that already. But
Yes.
I mean, instead of going, but again, back to what I said, we're the product, right? I would rather continue to sell you antidepressants because you have to keep coming back. Testosterone, you will too, but antidepressants versus making you feel better. Because if
Yeah.
I can keep you on antidepressants long enough, I can break another mechanism in your body and get you on a prescription drug for that as well. But
Thank
if I
you.
give you testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, and your thyroid and bring that to optimal levels, if you only need those only, then I'm pigeonholed to only this financial amount of money.
Yep,
And that is what
exactly.
they don't want.
Exactly. Well, it's a domino effect. All of
Yeah.
it is a domino effect. And that's what they want. That's what they're trained to,
Yeah.
it's not even really the doctor's fault. It's like the people in control of the system that teach the doctors their information
Yes.
or non-information. And then it's boom, it just, yes. And then
Absolutely.
we're out here just, oh, well, women are just crazy. Well, if you balanced us, then
Right.
maybe we wouldn't be so crazy. Maybe
Right.
we wouldn't be so moody if we had all of the right type of stuff going on with us at all times. Maybe menopause wouldn't be terrible, tearing marriages apart. Maybe it would be a little bit pleasant and normal.
Hello, let's talk about it. This is the tough topic. Let's talk about how many marriages have really just gone to hell because of perimenopause and menopause. Because women lose their libido.
Mhm.
Men typically stay hypersexual for quite some time, and women don't even know what's happening to them, besides they just don't feel like doing it. I was one of those women. My poor ex-husband, oh my goodness, that poor man. Let me tell you something. Well, it was like he was over there in the desert. You hear me? In the desert. And then let's add insult to injury. I had a hysterectomy years ago. So everything was off in my earlier age when I should have had a perfect, great libido. I didn't quite understand what was happening to me. I didn't know how to communicate it either. And so I'm sure
there's no education.
there's no education. So I'm sure he felt like, he was on an island alone, and maybe that I didn't love him, or I didn't want him, or there was an attraction that disappeared, whatever. And then no communication came from his side. And it just made for a recipe for a big disaster. Now, that played a role in the demise of our marriage. It wasn't the thing, but it is a big topic. And I think women need to understand, if you are feeling like you just don't want to, like you would touch me some days and I just would cringe inside, like, ugh, that is hormonal imbalance, 100%. And I don't want you all to lose your relationships. You need to go and, get with
you need to go to your event. When is it? I just dropped the link for it.
Yes, it's on September 27th. It's a virtual event. I'm going to be teaching all about perimenopause, menopause, HRT, what it is, all the supplementation that you can take, link to the clinic that I work with for blood work and hormonal panels, so that women can start getting on, getting closer to feeling better, figuring out what makes them feel better. I'm going to do some myth busters on there as well. And then everyone's going to leave with some nutritional advice and a handout on HRT and perimenopause, menopause, because you're not going to remember it all. I don't want anyone to think that they have to remember it, but they also get lifetime access to the link, so they can watch it over and over and over again if they want. I want this to be something that women can have all the time, that they can share out and have.
It's important, man. I mean, guys, all women, I mean, it's hardly any information out there about these subjects. And it's so important because, I mean, literally controls every function in your body. So if your stuff is off, then you're going to be off. So, I mean, I really, really would advise people to really join that, because I mean, it's just so needed and so important. So I'm so glad that you're doing things like that, or teaching about this, because there's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there. There are some that I found, and then they're so expensive, and I don't feel like it's not accessible to every woman. And I think that that's also unfair, because here it is again, a woman who does have or a doctor who has the knowledge, but wanting to make that buck so quickly, I'm like, who no one wants to pay $200 for an online event, or even a go sit down event. $200 is a lot right now for a lot of people. Right? So,
yes, girl. That's why it took me so long to release my mentoring program. I'm like, everybody should have access to this. I don't want to make it inaccessible for everybody, because there's not enough information for people. And it's like, you know what? there's so much out there that you don't even know who to trust. So I always tell people, do you
Yes.
resonate with the energy from the person? Does the
Right.
person show up as who they say they are? You know, if I'm not some like obese person talking about, you know, eating
Exactly.
food and doing
Right.
certain things, you know, I'm pretty in shape. I'm pretty, you know,
You're
things are pretty, you know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, yes, you like Superwoman. Crazy.
Nobody in
But
shape over here.
but you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, don't sit there and listen to a person that, I mean, of course you have to resonate, but I mean, that doesn't follow along with
Right. They don't practice what they preach.
exactly. Like
Right.
I was there was a therapist that I was speaking this one time with. It was a panel, and this therapist had talked about, she was first of all obese. Second of
Right.
all, she had just had a heart attack. And I'm like, and all you're doing is preaching therapy. I'm like, obviously that's not
It's not how you're
it's
living
not
your life. Something's not right here.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't understand. So all I'm saying, guys, is just make sure that you're following along with the information of, you know,
Yes.
people that are actually exemplifying their work. You know what I'm saying?
100%. They are practicing what they preach, because when there's a disconnect there, it bugs me. Like I see this in like the bodybuilding space quite a bit. I see a lot of women, they'll get them, and men, they'll get themselves into these amazing shape. I mean, phenomenal for show. And the day after the day of the competition, when it's over, the first thing they're cramming into their mouth is sweets and all this crazy junk, cakes, everything, you name it, they eat it. Sometimes they're even on tables at the shows. And I'm always kind of bewildered, saying to myself, now, wait a minute. We are in a very vulnerable state, being super lean. You're not supposed to have this least amount of body fat. We're not meant to be shredded. We're really not. We're pushing envelopes to do that. And then you depleted water so that you can look extra lean. And now you're throwing sugar and high salt food and alcohol for some people into the mix, completely taking your electrolyte balance from one extreme to the next. And so a lot of competitors die, and a lot of people think it's because of the, you know, steroids that some of them take. It's because they mess with their electrolytes and that craziness. And then some of them ruin their kidneys. They'll gain 30, 40 pounds of water weight in 2 days. It's very real, look like a marshmallow, unrecognizable, because of the electrolyte balance. And so I see this a lot, but then they'll get on and promote that they're taking clients to coach. And I'm like, coaching them to what? Their casket? Like, I'm watching you slam these things post show because you chose to diet for 20 weeks for a show. And now you think the first thing you should eat is a donut. I think it's the dumbest, most unhealthiest thing I've ever seen, ever. After my first show, I realized never to do that, because I won my first show. I had an apple with almond butter on it, but I hadn't had any fruit for that diet the whole time. And I dieted for like 32 weeks. Oh, I won that show, and I was holding my little trophy going right in the ambulance because I had a diabetic shock from an apple and almond butter.
Oh my God.
So it is very dangerous. And so I say that to say, when you're looking for someone that's going to coach you or teach you, make sure that they are really walking the walk. Like,
exactly.
Look, you know, if they're posting their drinks of them drinking on the weekend, every weekend, not, you know, they can drink and live, but every weekend they're slamming cheat meals of all this craziness. They're not serious. They're not serious.
Look, alcohol, first of all, alcohol is just
Poison.
Look, it's
Poison,
just
literally.
poison. You're literally
poison.
poisoning your body. Your
Yes.
liver. Now, we were just talking about all the toxicity in the world. Your liver is now taking a break from detoxing all of the toxicity that you're already surrounded with and ingesting. And now it's got to ingest and detox the alcohol.
Yes.
And it's like, it's just no point. There's no point to alcohol.
No.
It's literally just liquid poison. You're poisoning yourself. You're killing your brain. You're killing your body. And you're aging yourself.
I need everyone to ask themselves the important question when it comes to alcohol. Why? Are you drinking?
Why?
What are you
trying? Good. It don't taste good.
It's okay, but really,
Girl,
we're looking for something to alter ourselves, because why? We don't like ourselves.
Yeah.
As much as we think we do. Now, there's gonna be some people be like, no, I love myself, but I love to drink. I implore you to stop drinking for 2 weeks and start really connecting with yourself, and then come back and tell me what
Well,
you've
no,
done.
here's the thing. Look, because I was a raging alcoholic. So look, this is what I went through a whole thing. I started drinking when I was 12, and I didn't stop drinking until probably I think the last. I mean, I would have one here and there, even a couple of years ago, but I think it's been like 2 years since I've drank. But here's the thing: you go through a phase. Alcoholics go through a phase when it's like you're scared not to drink because you don't have a personality unless you
Right.
drink the drink.
Yes.
The
Yes.
drink is your
It's your
personality. That is
personality,
your
yeah.
outgoingness.
That's your outfit.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
Randy used to say, I need my liquid courage. And I'm like, for what? It's just me. I already know you.
Look, it's just, I know. So there's a period in time when you really have to get to know yourself again. So I literally went through an awkward phase back in my 20s when I kind of slowed down in the drinking,
Right.
where I didn't even want to go to parties. I didn't even want to, because I felt so awkward because I didn't know how to be me in
You,
front
right?
of
Like,
people.
who am I? I don't know
Who
who
am
I am.
I? I don't know who I am, because when I'm drunk, I'm the life of the party. I'm on tables. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I was the life of the party. I thought I was an extrovert because I was drinking all the time. But I'm not an extrovert. I'm an
Right.
introvert as F. Like, I don't like put me in a bubble in a corner and I'm good with a book.
I'm good to go. I do not. This is a lot for me.
You know
I'm
what
getting better, but I prefer to be off in a corner, quiet, alone. I don't need much. I'm happy. I'm like,
I wonder how many of us are introverts, but when drinking makes you an extrovert.
Yeah.
It does. It makes you happy. It's not like, hey, what's like
Pushing-
super talking to
pushing you out
everybody.
there. Yeah.
Now I'm like looking down and walking away from people because I don't want to talk to nobody. You know?
Me. You know me, I show up to the party, show my face. Hey y'all, bye.
On the table is crazy, but I used to be on all the tables. Okay, back in the day, I was on all the tables back in the day. Swear to God. That's why I'm saying it ain't good, man. That's why they call it a spirit. You know what I'm saying? It brings out
100%.
all it does is it literally shuts off your prefrontal cortex, and it literally makes you just like the reactionary, like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Everything is fair game when you're drunk. Everything is fair game. Absolutely. You lose your inhibitions.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Maria, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I love you. We used to do these all the time, guys. We used to have a show called Numb. We did. It was so fun.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. I'll come back anytime. Everyone, thank
Yes.
you.
Let me drop your link one more time, guys. If you want to join her hormone menopause course, which I really think you guys should. When is it again? It's virtual, and it's when?
Yeah, September 27th.
Yes. I would definitely advise people to take that, because
come and join me. It'll be amazing. Full of education, just chock full of education and takeaways for you to keep.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Maria. I love you so much. And guys, I'll release our podcast sometime soon, probably in the next couple links. Links in the next couple weeks. Okay, boo. Love you so much.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Guys, that was Maria. I love her. She's a freaking bundle of freaking joy. Every time we see each other, we just die laughing like the entire time. We literally just laugh until laughing cannot be laughed anymore. Anyways, listen. So I was on Instagram earlier and I was talking about my mentoring program, guys. I launched it yesterday. As Maria was even talking about, she wants to make her information very affordable for people. I do as well. I think it's really important that everybody has access to this information because it's so freaking important. And I wish that I did. I wish I had access to, what I put out there actually in my mentoring program. I wish I had this information back when I was in the no hope space, back when I was literally on the ground crying and didn't know what to do to bring myself out of these ruminating thoughts, because I was literally, just so many things, guys. They don't teach us shadow work in school. They don't teach us emotional resilience in school. They don't teach us about triggers and how literally the body controls the way that you feel sometimes. So, I wish that I had the information that I put out in my mentoring program back, when I was going through it. So I've literally taken the last 20 years of my life and compiled it into a 7-step program that I'm guaranteeing if people follow along these steps and really participate and really dedicate time and energy into themselves, then their lives will change. There is no way people will go through my 7-step process and not have a different life afterwards. And guys, I never claim that I'm licensed or I have any certifications, and which I do, but I don't claim in health. I don't do that in mental health. All I know is how I brought myself from there to there. Okay. Many different times in my life. I've worn so many different hats. I mean, I went from a model actress to a freaking chef, and then a pastry chef, and then a real estate agent, and then a president of a mental health place. And then y'all see me at the last place, what I did. So, I mean, now I'm here. But going from all of that to where I'm at now is crazy when you think about the amount of craziness I used to be, involved in. Like I said, I was the life of the party, used to be dancing on tables and stuff, drinking every night, doing drugs, and just wilding out every single night, which eventually got me into trouble, and I was sitting in a freaking jail cell. And then, I would say, let me see, that was how many years between? So between the jail cell and then sitting next to the governor in the state capitol, that was 6 years, right? 6 years. I mean, and then now that was 2018. So 7 years. Now I'm here. And I have literally brought my life from toxic, just whacked out to literally, I mean, just walking along this path of really recreating myself in so many different ways. I mean, drugs, alcohol, I mean, freaking just street life, just making stupid decisions to where I'm at now. And so I'm walking proof of the things that I'm teaching inside of my mentoring program. Walking proof. I never claim to, do or teach on anything I haven't been through. And the reason why I'm able to relate to so many different things and so many different people is because I have been through it all. I've touched all of the different places in my life. And so I'm able to really pull people out of that, pull people out of that, pull people out of that, because I've been through it. I've been there, done that. That's been my life. Been there, freaking done that. So guys, my mentoring program is only $20 a month right now. If you get it right now, until September 15th, and then it goes up to $30 a month. And guys, like I said, I have been working on this for the past couple months, and I have not wanted to release it because I didn't feel like it was right. I didn't feel like it was value packed enough. I wasn't comfortable with it because I wanted everybody to be able to afford it, because everybody deserves to feel better. Everybody. All of us. And what I have realized is I've been in the biohacking scene for quite a while now. I've been studying this stuff for about over a decade. Okay. And what I realized that in that community and culture of people, it's usually middle-aged white men. And I'm thinking in my head, okay, well, after growing up in Detroit and seeing how inner cities work, and I'm like, middle-aged white men, I love all people, but I'm just saying this type of information is not accessible for people that really need it to get out of stress, to get out of trauma, to make themselves feel better. And then on top of that, guys, it's so freaking expensive. I mean, biohacking stuff is expensive, but there are ways, there are things that you can do that are not that expensive. Honestly, I went through this dark night of my soul, and I helped myself through it by literally just natural remedies and easy things like connecting to the earth, literally hands and feet, connecting to the earth's surface so I can suck up the negative ions and, diminish the inflammation in my body so that my head is clear. I mean, there's just so many ways that we can help ourselves get through things, help ourselves feel better. And it doesn't always have to cost $1 million freaking dollars. And guess what? The people that really need help, I mean, millionaires and billionaires do need help because they, sometimes they're just not happy, but that's a whole nother issue. But I mean, if your basic needs are not taken care of, I'm talking about a roof over your head, food on your table, transportation, if you don't have your basic needs taken care of, then your stress shoots up way above everybody else's stress. So, it's like you have a current thing running in the background of your mind all the freaking time. So those are the people that need to have access to this type of information so they're able to create different in their life. You know what I'm saying? Like different in their life. So, anyways, guys, my mentoring program, it's in the link in my bio on TikTok. I'm dropping the link one more time before I hop off of here. And yeah, I would just advise people, join now before September 15th, because at that point it goes up. So you guys got the early bird special right now, and just check me out. Check me out. My 7 steps are in there. I mean, I have different courses in there. I have my heartbreak course in there, which I filmed in this, like literally smack dab in the center of my whole drama that I had. So it was so heartfelt, honest, and vulnerable. And I literally like talked about all the ways that really helped me through this dark night, because I never stopped showing up, point blank, period. Even if I felt literally like the bottom of the earth, I never stopped. I always showed up. So that course is in it. My activation prayer for your spirit team to call in your guides, angels, and everyone else to help you, be the best that you can be. I mean, my meditations, all of that stuff is in there. Yes, I'm on IG, Elisabeth I. Carson. Elisabeth I. Carson, guys, on IG. If you don't know that I'm there, I am, yes, definitely on Instagram. But yes, guys. Yeah, the key is not to quit. Absolutely. You're right. They said the key is just not to quit. Keep on going. That's the only thing that makes you different from the next. For the person that's out here doing what you always wanted to do, it's just because they didn't quit. They just kept on going and going and going. And trust me, I had a day today, guys. I had a day. I was not feeling the most awesome. And let me just go in this story real quick before I get off of here, because this is really, really wild. So I went live on Instagram earlier. And I was like, today wasn't the greatest day. I was talking about meditation and how if you're having ruminating thoughts, or if you've had a ton of trauma, physical trauma, then sometimes it's hard to close your eyes and meditate. It can actually cause more trauma than, if you were to just do a walking meditation or eyes open meditation, right? And so this morning I tried to do my normal routine of closed eye meditation, and I realized that I was having ruminating thoughts. And I'm like, you know what, let me just move right into my walking meditation. And I was talking about betrayal and how, there's just, going through my whole storm, there's been so many people that I've lost. And I just, the betrayal feeling is one of the hardest to process and go through as a humanly vessel, right? Because it's like, I know that I create my reality. I literally create all of this. So I pulled in all the energy that created my situation, because I create my reality, my energy, my frequency, is what is external, my mirror. So I've been just looking at the mirror the whole freaking time. And so, I was in betrayal mode today, because sometimes it just gets, a little overwhelming when things happen. But then you always got to realize that, it's you that caused it. But anyways, some of the people in my life, it was just wild what happened, the situation, which I will eventually talk about at some point. Okay. Not anytime soon, but at some point I will probably end up talking about, because it's just too wild, these people. So I was like, okay, I got to get off now and go to my cranial sacral appointment, which, by the way, guys, is one of the greatest ways to help your cells process trauma out of your body. Okay. One of the greatest ways. And so cranial sacral, I would advise everybody to do so and just find a great practitioner, because it's changed my life in incredible ways. But I go to my cranial sacral guy, who also does Qigong. He balances energy and does all of these other things. And he told me today, he's like, do you like to dance by yourself? And I'm like, I love to dance by myself. He's like, have you not been dancing lately? I was like, no, I haven't really been feeling like dancing lately. And he was like, yeah, because there's a lot of, energy, dark energy attached. Like he's like, when people are just talking about you, he's like, it attaches. And he's like, that's why your lowest chakras are kind of like stuck. And he's like, it's kind of like, that energy is just pulling you down. I would advise you to start saging. I was like, yo, this is crazy. I mean, I sage anyways, but I sage rarely. It's wild, guys. All I'm saying is that, some of the reasons why you may not be feeling the greatest is because there is such thing as energy on the world and its planet, metaphysics. There's behind the veil stuff that happens. And I mean, I was even talking to a girlfriend about this who had recently got divorced. They were putting spells on her and she could feel it. And I'm like, you know what? It's so weird because this past week I haven't felt like dancing. I've just been walking. I've almost forced myself to dance, but it's felt not amazing. And it was crazy how this guy, this energy worker, my cranial sacral guy, could feel that today. And I'm saying this because I was feeling that today. I was feeling that. That's why I was so down in my emotions of, oh, you know, I'm feeling like more betrayal than normal today. I'm feeling more like down usually because I was feeling it. So I say all this to say, guys, just take care of yourselves. You know, I didn't notice that or think about it. You know, I could just sage myself. I did it as soon as I got home. And guess what? I feel way lighter. Like I feel so much better. My energy now is not the same as it was on that red light therapy live that I did on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying take care of yourself because it can be hitting you from everywhere. Toxicity, you know, energy. Like just make sure that you're taking the extra steps to take care of you. That's all. But I thought that was a crazy story. So I had to let you guys know. But anyways, if no one told you today, I love you. I love you. And yeah, I mean, I just, you know, I really do. I feel like we all need to say it more. And in building. Yeah, no, honey, that was on me. I'm sorry. So like, let me just not. And yes, sage definitely does help you make good. It's feel good. It's antimicrobial, antibacterial, and antifungal. So it's actually really good for you. But yeah, guys, we need to say I love you more. Okay. We need to connect more, be just, I don't know. We have been taught to be so independent. And, you know, we don't need to be. We need to lean on each other more so because when we lean on each other, we create a community, we have a community and, you know, we feel better. And I can see so many of my community members, even my mentoring program in the chat. I love y'all so much support. Okay. It is good to have support from people. It is good to be able to fall back and have people that you can just talk to and be there for you. Trust me, it's good. But anyways, I love you guys. Until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was literally freaking information packed. So it will be on my channel. You guys can go back and listen. Let me drop my link to my mentoring program one more time, guys. It's literally affordable for everybody. So, you know, invest in yourself. That's all I got to say. Invest in yourself so we can become better people and inspire change in the world and make the world a better place. All right. Peace, TikTok. Peace, peace. I love y'all so much. And peace, peace, peace. YouTube, X, and Facebook. I love y'all too.
This podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. The views expressed are those of the hosts and guests and don't necessarily reflect those of the producers or affiliates. We do not guarantee the accuracy of the content. Please verify information and seek professional advice when needed. By listening, you agree not to hold us liable for any actions taken based on this content. Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you enjoy the episodes ahead. Love unlimited, feel unlimited.
Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you enjoyed this episode, I invite you to stay on this journey with me. There is so much more ahead. Courses, mentoring, healing circles, retreats, safe spaces to heal and grow. Make sure you subscribe, follow, and stay connected. We are not alone. In this journey, we're on it together.